What makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard? Beyond the Junkyard. What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I don't know why this always happens, but when I hit start, it always kicks him out. But anyways, welcome to another episode of the Beyond the Junkyard podcast. Do you want to know what makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard? This show makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard. And we are here today to do our AEW Full Gear Prediction Show. Like always, let's get the housekeeping out of the way. My friend, Cody Marinara, how are you doing, my friend?
Oh, man, you smell that? That's some fresh brewed junkyard coffee right there. Let me tell you something right now. This is good shit right here. It's been a couple weeks. We're here. Of course, we're going to take a freaking week off because, Thanksgiving is next week. But hey, you know what? It's fine. Don't worry about it. But anyways, it's getting cold. It's chilly outside. I got a toboggan on and a sweatshirt. It's chilly. My nipples are hard. It's getting frozen, but it's all good. We're here. We're live. We're in living color. I missed you. I missed everybody. The world needs more marinara. And that's what we're here to provide, is more marinara by yours truly, the Marinara Man, and with the co-host, the hostess with the mostest, Jimmy Junkyard Jim. How in the hell are you doing?
Well, you ain't lying. It is cold. I might have to log off here and put some socks on my damn toes because they might fall off mid-show.
I thought you were going to say socks on your nipples, and that would have been great. I would appreciate that.
But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. It's a nice, good day to talk pro wrestling here. Let's answer this question real quick. Are those AEW? Yes. I don't know if you caught the intro, Wavy D, but Daddy Magic or Matt Menard used to say when he was with Jericho that his catchphrase, kind of like when Cody Rhodes goes out and says, "So, what do you want to talk about today?" His was always, "Do you want to know what makes Daddy Magic's nipples hard?" And anyways, now he's relegated to Rampage commentary. Though he did put on a good promo last night. But anyways, yeah, it's been a good week. Got to thank our partners and affiliates real quick. Check all the links in the description box below. WWE Shop, W Energy, and StubHub. Use the links in the description and help support the podcast. Like DJ Wavy D has been doing. Join us in the comments. We'll share your comments on screen, and we want this to be as interactive as possible. Today, we're going to jump right in, though, with the content, the AEW Full Gear predictions. But first, we're going to do a new segment on the show that I like to call the Rant of the Week. I'm going to start with KDAWG. He said he had something he wanted to talk about today on the show, and I do too. So we're both going to spend a few minutes. I'm going to let him rant. We'll discuss it a little. I'm going to go on a rant, and then as quickly as we can get through that, we'll start predicting these matches. Sir, I'll let you begin your rant.
So I wouldn't even say it's much of a rant per se. Am I frozen? No, okay, we're good. We're good. Good. Yes. No. Maybe so.
All good.
Okay.
On my end.
Okay. Sorry, it seemed frozen on my screen, so I just want to make sure. So, mine's not so much of a rant. It's just something I've noticed, and I want to bring it up because I want to hear from the chat. I want to hear from you. I want to get a good discussion here going. And my rant so much isn't a rant. It's just an interesting question to bring up. So let me first by just asking this question, and I just want an answer. You don't have to go through a thorough reasoning. Wrestling wise, not so much promotional wise or whatever the case may be, pure wrestling on the roster wise. Who is the savior of AEW?
Define savior.
Wrestling wise, I'm not saying, hey, Tony Khan's the savior of AEW because he's the owner, or Shad Khan, or even the Bucks because they're EVPs. In a wrestling sense of the phrase, if AEW were to get taken over, who's the savior of AEW?
That's a tricky question.
The fact you have to pause and think about it is good and bad.
So here's where I'll lead with this is that I don't think AEW needs saving, and I kind of have the same follow-up as Wavy D. I'll pull his comment up here. Like, going forward is AEW gets bought out by, let's just say, WWE, who's going to be the face of AEW, or all things considered, everything stays the same, who on the roster currently is the savior? That kind of changes my answer. So someone on the roster now.
Currently, yes.
I don't necessarily think AEW is in a position that they need one specific individual to lead the company forward. I think Tony Khan had that mindset when he brought CM Punk in, that, I'll bring Punk into AEW. He'll turn ticket sales around. He'll fill the arenas. He'll sell all these big pay-per-views, and AEW can be competing on a higher level than they were before Punk showed up. And we saw how that worked, where you give one individual too much screen time or too much power or too much say or whatnot, and the other guys may not enjoy it. What I would say is, what needs to work for AEW is to continue to, one, use your big stars, your guys like Swerve, your guys like MJF, to then create newer stars. So like what they're doing with Jon Moxley and Orange Cassidy, though it may seem goofy in the forefront right now on how is this scrawny guy supposed to beat the shit out of Jon Moxley, this has the potential, if done right, to make Orange Cassidy the biggest babyface AEW has ever had. And so I don't know if there's one individual person that will lead or save AEW or bring them to new heights. I think it's the combination of your top guys and your newer stars working together to build AEW together. But you do need MJF to be in the, like, right now, he shouldn't be continuing last year's storyline. He should be starting a new storyline with somebody else. I'm not a big fan of this MJF storyline going in to Full Gear. He needs to be the guy. When he came back, he should have immediately he should be the guy in the Jon Moxley spot right now. Just this bad guy who's taking over the company. I think Danielson wanted it to be Moxley, and that was just the way to retire Danielson out of AEW, and so that's where we're leading. But you got to use your top guys now to build your younger guys so that they can eventually take the torch. And it's just a cyclical pattern of top guys helping other guys become top guys.
That's a fair answer, and I appreciate you kind of going in depth with that. So I just wanted to pull up a little bit of the chat on my end just to make sure. Interesting. The reason why this question is relevant is for the ongoing storyline of the Death Riders controlling AEW, right? And so seemingly this storyline is played out to where they are controlling the company because they have the world title. And obviously the trios titles with Pac, Claudio, and Yuta, which last night before he showed up, I'm like, where's Pac been? It's been in this group. Where's he been? And then he showed up last night, so that helped answer my question. So, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. You, chat, whoever. Does this storyline seem a little bit, and I'm not saying it's an exact duplicate, although just about everything in wrestling is copied in some way, because it is insanely hard to come up with new storylines. I think I don't even remember where I heard it from. I had to be a podcast, but basically all 7 emotions that are pretty much told in every single TV show, movie, they've all been told. It's just a matter of how well can you round up the storyline to make it make sense, intrigue your audience, entertain them, compel them, get them to buy into it, and deliver onto it. But does this storyline resemble any big storylines?
Before you keep going, I think I might have a clue on where you're going with this. Are you referring to like the NWO?
Look at you go. This is why you're a co-host or the host. These are the hostess of the mostest. You know where that was going. Yes, this storyline is very similar to the NWO taking over WCW storyline. Now, while it's not, they haven't used the whole phrase, the outsiders infiltrating AEW, but we can pretty much say that they are, because obviously Claudio, Moxley, Pac, they came over from WWE. Yuta did not, but he's that homegrown guy, if you will, that has joined with them because they see a future with him. So the thing with the NWO storyline was your main babyface throughout the entire run was with Sting, right? And it was a 1.5 year storyline that culminated obviously with the whole Sting winning. That whole storyline was 1.5 years in advance to prepare the NWO to get taken over, or to prepare the NWO to get overcome by WCW, by the babyfaces overcoming the heels. So, but we had babyfaces that we built along the way that helped us in this story as we were still preparing for that penultimate end of that story with Luger, Piper, DDP, Giant, Flair. So we had plenty of these baby faces that kind of helped us along the way. So with this, the whole premise of the NWO and the whole Sting angle, Sting was doubted, right? He was betrayed. He was questioned for allegiance to WCW. Started with the whole, NWO was trying to recruit him, and they brought a fake Sting, made it seem like he was the real deal. He didn't show up for Nitro. Luger and Flair, Arn Anderson, and them, they doubted him. It was the War Games match of Fall Brawl 96. Sting was supposed to be on the team. They threw him off the team because they doubted him, especially his best friend, Lex Luger. He showed up, beat up the NWO Sting, and then walked out, and then had the whole speech the next night on Nitro. So basically, that's where that whole storyline started, and then we led to the 1.5 year build for it. Obviously, Sting turned dark and became mysterious, but it led him to winning the world title and restored WCW from the grips of the NWO. That's what the storyline was premising. Does AEW have that star on their roster right now who can deliver that and create an intriguing storyline leading up to this? It doesn't have to be the year-and-a-half advanced storyline, but do we have somebody on the roster right now that we can look to and say, that's the savior, that's the hero in this story? Is it Orange Cassidy? Is it Darby Allin? Could we even really say Will Ospreay is that person, even though he's not an AEW homegrown talent? Or MJF? Daniel Garcia? We have some baby faces that we can lead to this penultimate rise to overcome the Death Riders.
Right.
But the problem is we haven't built that basis of who exactly is this storyline leading to. And we may not need it right now. And that's where, like I said, it doesn't have to necessarily duplicate the NWO Sting storyline. But with that storyline, we had the main character that was leading us through the entirety of the storyline while we got carried along the way with some of the other baby faces. I don't see that person yet. I don't know where the storyline is going to go, and that's a great thing about it. We don't know where it's going to go. But the one thing that I don't love, and I'm still going to buy the pay-per-view, I'm going to watch it. It's going to be a great show. Orange Cassidy is not it for me. Darby Allin isn't it for me. I think what separates Sting from OC, Darby, even Daniel Garcia, and I think maybe some of the casuals have led onto this, and it's not that I'm open my eyes to it. It's just I took a step back, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if that cuts it for me. And the reason why I say that, and I know that wrestling, and this is a elongated answer, and I apologize. I know wrestling is supposed to be, obviously, it's entertainment. You're supposed to be suspended your belief, and I get that. But I would like my wrestling that I enjoy, great matches, great high flying, great athleticism, compelling matches, but also good story. And I feel this Death Riders thing is going to be a good story. But I got to sink my teeth into something that I feel can be legitimate as to, oh yeah, I could see that person overcoming them. Right. And while Orange Cassidy is a badass with the fact he don't care if it's 5-on-1, he doesn't care, he'll find them. I don't see that legit threat. And I think the reason why what makes them separate from Sting, besides face paint and all that stuff, Sting's a big dude. He's 6'3", built. When he goes toe-to-toe to Hulk Hogan, you can be like, yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. I don't see that with Orange Cassidy. I don't see that with Darby Allin. I don't even really see that with Daniel Garcia. Which leads me to think that Will Ospreay could definitely be that person. But
the guy that I would put with, and I'm sorry to cut you off here, is Swerve Strickland. Would be the
that's
guy
not a bad idea, and I enjoy that if he had not already been a world champion. And I'm not saying that he can't just be a world champion again. Right. He absolutely can and will be. But I feel we need somebody else that the fans love as a babyface that can truly get behind him. Swerve is best as a tweener. He just is. Right. He's not the best as a babyface. He's a great heel, but I think his sweet spot is that tweener.
Right.
I think that we need to see the return of this person to lead us to where AEW gets control back from the Death Riders, Kenny Omega. And I think that that's where this leads to. That's why, and he's already got the match scheduled at Wrestle Dynasty with Gabe Kidd. Why is he not going to AEW? He has said AEW doesn't need me right now.
Right.
That's where I feel that this story is going to go eventually, is to where it's going to lead to Kenny coming back. Eddie Kingston has said the same thing. Right. So I think we're going to get these feeding of some of these guys that's going to be fed to Moxley to try to overcome the Death Riders, take control back of AEW. We just can't get it done. Can't get it done. We're going to turn to that guy, that OG that's like, man, we've been wrong. We've been needing you. We need you. You're the OG. We need not Kevin Owens. That would be cool, but he's not an OG. I can't have a outsider coming in and make it seem legit.
Wrong KO.
Yeah,
Omega.
wrong KO. I think it has to be Kenny Omega.
So I could see that. Now I don't know if Sean Ross Sapp is correct. He's been more correct more than he's not been correct in a lot of this stuff.
Mm.
The reports were he was supposed to fight Okada for the title, the Continental title, at All In London, and he wasn't cleared to wrestle at that point. I wonder if Omega's like a special or like a surprise entrant in the Continental Classic that starts next week, or who's going to lead there. Because if it would be Kenny Omega, like the way AEW storytelling has been is like they wouldn't just throw him straight to Moxley. Like I feel like his storyline would be more so with the Elite before Moxley. And like, so the Young Bucks are out of town. They're working from home in storyline. And so the assumption to me would be the Elite are about to lose all their belts. And it would make sense to have Kenny be the guy to like bring everything back together again and the baby faces win. But would it not? I don't know. Would he go straight for the world title, or would he try to go back and finish that story with the Elite?
So what I would say to that, because the Elite are off TV, I think they're going to come back as baby faces. And to say, man, Death Riders are really, they're taking this thing over, man. We really need to, buckle down. We need to take this company back. This is not what we need. They're destroying the roster. We've got nothing left. We need to take this company back. And I don't mean that the Bucks need to win the tag team belts again, but have the AEW OGs, take those stuff away. Right now, Private Party and all of them, they have control of the belts.
Right.
So far, it's just the trios in the world title. But what if Yuta takes away the Continental Championship? What if Claudio or Pac win the Continental Championship? What if one of them wins the International Championship? Then it's like, okay, now we're starting to belt collect. But I don't want the Death Riders to get very much bigger. That's very bad English. But I don't want them to expand. If any, one more member, and that's it. I do not want this.
A legitimate NWO where they have 97 members.
I don't want that. I don't want that. If, like I said, maybe one more member and that's it, just to kind of help with the belt collecting part of it, to make it seem like they are the dominant faction in AEW. That's where it's going to lead to the Elite coming back as baby faces, and the Bucks are trying to get the tag title, or they're trying to get the control back. They went to Hangman and them, they just can't do it. They try to get maybe an honorary member of the Elite, whoever, can't do it. We need somebody, and that's Kenny.
So they rehire Kenny Omega into the Elite, is what you're saying.
Yes, and this would also lead to AEW long-term storytelling, because who did Jon Moxley come out and beat up first and beat the shit out of at Double or Nothing in 2019, AEW's first show? Kenny Omega. So there's your long-term storytelling coming back full circle of, you know what, John? You came in as an outsider. You came in while we tried to build this thing up. You tried to take over. You went after me first. Why did you do that? Because you wanted to be the top guy, and now you're the top guy when I'm not around. Well, guess what? Now I'm back around. I'm taking my company back. We're taking our company back. I'm coming after you. And then let's tell that story. Let's get that process. Don't do just automatically 2 months. Hey, world title win. Right. Let's build that up. We got to build that up. Adam Cole be a great one too.
Oh, he doesn't have the look of some guy that can beat up.
That's it. That's exactly where I was going to go with that.
But
and I love Adam, but
yeah, that's an interesting thing to think about. I have an actual rant.
Yeah, I should have probably said before, this wasn't my rant. This was just a very good hypothetical thing that I just wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
To get the creative juices flowing. I had 3 weeks off, so now the creative juices are flowing.
It's good. I like that. I like that discussion. But here's my rant, and it kind of started with, I saw a post on X today by an account named AEW Defender, and I'll read it verbatim and then kind of go where I'm going. It said, last night's Dynamite had a heavy reliance on video packages and backstage segments, things Twitter demanded. But scrolling Twitter, no one is happy. Listening to Twitter is the worst thing AEW could do. They want what they can't have, and once they get it, they don't want it anymore. And so here's my problem, and I agree with this to almost 100% agreement, is the reason why I am so big on AEW staying away from listening to people like JD from NY or whatever that fucker's name is on social media, and all of these podcast hosts, even myself, like all the casuals, like AEW needs to stay in their lane and do what AEW needs to do, and don't listen to these people who think that they've been a fan for 35 years and they remember the Attitude Era, so they know what's best for AEW, and let's make AEW a Wish.com version of WWE, because that's not AEW's strong point. AEW's strong point is their in-ring work. And so Tony Khan and all these people have been doing a lot of backstage segments and vignettes. And like, let me tell you, the Julia Hart vignettes have been some of the greatest things on TV the last couple of weeks. They should win some sort of award for like how good they've been produced. And they were not made by people in AEW. AEW and Julia Hart had her friend record and edit all of these, and they worked together while Julia Hart was out to create these return vignettes. And so this isn't; those aren't AEW like created content. I'm sure AEW worked with the creator and they had some agreement in place, but point being is that's not typically what makes AEW AEW. They're meant to be something different than WWE. And so even if we were to lose the casual audience because we focus too much on pro wrestling instead of the sports entertainment aspect, it really wouldn't matter, because the only people that are complaining about AEW are the people that don't like what AEW is good at. And so what would it matter to lose them? Like, I would be totally okay as an AEW fan if AEW ran 800,000 people every single week and they filled up 3,000 seat arenas every single week for Dynamite. I would be okay with that. I don't really care if we ever get 1.5 million people to watch our show on a weekly basis. Like, that stuff doesn't matter to me. What I care about as a fan of AEW is, are they putting on good wrestling? That's what I watch AEW for. And for the most part, they are. But see, what they've done is they've realized, okay, well, maybe we should try and expand a little bit. We got this new TV deal. Let's try and bring some celebrities in here. So they bring in the Costco guys, and they bring in some of these, guys from out of the wrestling industry. And 9 times out of 10, they don't work. Like, I saw spoilers from the Rampage segment with the Costco guys, and they got booed out of the building because that's not what works with AEW. It may work in terms of bringing in people to see your clips, but it doesn't work for your hardcore base. And so I guess my big point is, you got to go where your base is going to go, because those are the people that are going to stick with you no matter what. And it doesn't matter to me if we listen to the WWE loyalists on how to make AEW better, because at the end of the day, my honest opinion is these people that hate on AEW, even if we did everything that they wanted us to do, they would just move the goalposts further and further and further until, because nothing satisfies them. It's not because they want to make AEW better. It's more so that they just hate AEW, so they're just going to complain about anything we produce anyway. So my rant wasn't as long as yours, and that's good because we're a half hour into this. So let's let's move right along. Speaking of the Costco guys, AJ fights QT Marshall on the pre-show 0 hour of Full Gear, and they announced the match. So we're going to predict it. I think it's too easy to say this. Now, I'll give AJ credit. He used to wrestle. It's been 20 years since he was a professional wrestler or an independent wrestler. So he knows what he's doing. He's been in the ring before. It's not like he just walked into a ring and decided, oh, I want to do AEW. Like, he has some experience. And I think this is pretty easy on what's going to happen. I'm going to have AJ win the match and bring the boom with the double chunk chocolate cookies.
It might be the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, but hey, whatever works. I had no idea. I had no idea who these guys were leading up to this entire thing. I didn't even know he was a former pro wrestler. I looked him up and I'm like, okay, so they've gotten social media famous. Okay, cool. And they're going to be where they're from, right, in the area they're from. So it makes even more sense. All right. Not to go back and harp on your rant and extend it further, but for the most part, I do agree with you. AEW needs to stay in their own lane and just kind of do what they've been doing. That's been successful. And of course, just because you're doing the same thing doesn't mean it's going to be successful all the time. You got to change things up. Right. You got to be different in some things and just keep things as different and fresh as possible. And this is something that's different, fresh, and just different because AEW doesn't typically do something like this. And I'm glad they're doing it on the pre-show. It's not on the main card, so it's fine. But you look at the last 2 weeks, Full Gear had only 6,000 tickets.
Sorry, I forgot my phone was not silent. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
Interrupt me again. I'm dumping a can of marinara sauce on your head. Just kidding. Yeah, they sold 6,000 tickets at the Prudential Center, which holds like 17,000 for wrestling. And in 2 weeks, they sold almost 2,000 tickets, and they're up to almost 10,000. So something happened. Now, of course, it could be promotional stuff, could be AEW doing more marketing stuff leading into the show. I'm not 100% sure. Or just, they get better ticket sales as we get closer to the show. I don't know. But I have a feeling that this did a little bit. Not a lot. I'm not going to give them a whole lot of credit with that. But a little bit to do with it just for the fact of these guys are local. They are popular on social media. Just the views alone from one of their segments that AJ did on an AEW programming got 3 million views. I know it's not WWE level. I get it. Just calm down. For AEW, that's pretty big as far as just the views on social media, whatever it be X or Instagram or TikTok, whatever it was. So something worked a little bit, whether it's the Death Riders thing, whether it's this, but long story, summing it up, AJ, I do think wins, but I will also think one thing as well before we get a little bit more into this, before we get to the main card. I hope it's not just me. Maybe it is, and forgive me. Does it seem like that we had a more set card for this pay-per-view than we have in the past, maybe 3 or 4, where it seemed like we had most of these matches done, most of these matches set up within the last 3 weeks almost?
Yeah, so typically we preface this show with, hey, Tony Khan's probably going to add a couple matches to this show, but including the 0 hour, 9 matches were already confirmed. And as I'm saying this, I'm pulling up social media now. I don't have the graphic, but another match was just confirmed for the show.
I thought there'd be one more. Fletcher and Takeshita, or not Fletcher, Takeshita and
it is Konosuke Takeshita and Ricochet for the International Championship. So while we're talking about it, we'll go ahead. I don't have a graphic on the screen, but we'll talk about it now since it's the topic. I thought this would be confirmed. I thought he would have done it on Rampage and made it confirmed on Rampage, but he wanted to shoot the gun a little early. I think it's too early for Takeshita to drop the belt. Ricochet is great. I don't like the international belt's been just thrown around a million times here recently. So
definitely seems like it.
I'm going with Konosuke Takeshita to win that match.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely go with the same on that. I think Ricochet, he's gotten a few of these title shots, but I think his preference is he hasn't had a fair one-on-one shot or something to that extent. There's always been interference. He's always been screwed around, something right. to that extent. I'm hoping that after this, we kind of steer to Ricochet away from this scene for a little bit, just kind of let him do something else. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Takeshita as well. I don't
Wavy D, what's up, my friend? You're back. Let me catch you up because we've predicted 2 matches. We predicted the one on the screen, Big Boom AJ versus QT Marshall, and Tony Khan had just made it official. Konosuke Takeshita versus Ricochet. Like 9 minutes ago, he posted the tweet, so I don't have the graphic on the screen. And we also predicted that one. We're both going AJ to get the win and Takeshita to get the win. If you want to put your and this is for everyone in the chat, if you want to put your answers in the chat, we can definitely keep track of that. Wavy D likes to say fuck Boom AJ. He that's a big doom. Anyway, did you see QT Marshall's while we're still talking about it, his diss track on Monday? Did you watch that video?
Was it on Dynamite or Collision?
No. He released it on Monday on YouTube.
No, I did not.
No. Oh. So, remember when Miz and John Morrison did a rap on WWE and like how terrible it was?
Yes.
Yeah, this one might have been worse.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so definitely check it out if you if you care to stomach it. It's what you expect from QT Marshall trying to rap. Anyways, let's continue on with the matches. We're going to go ahead and do another championship match, a 4-way tag team match for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. The champions, Private Party, have to defend against what may be the most over team in AEW, the Outrunners, the Kings of the Black Throne, and then Team Nut Up or Shut Up, the Acclaimed. And as much as I want to pick the Acclaimed to win, this match, I think, only leads to them splitting up at some point in the future. We've already kind of seen inklings of the Acclaimed not being on the same page. And so I also want to say the Outrunners. But like I have a fear that FTR is going to interfere in some way with them. I'm going to have Private Party retain the AEW Tag Team Champions.
I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't love the fact that Private Party is the Tag Team Champions. That has nothing to do with me being with the race thing at all. I just think that there's just not that over as a team with the crowd and every circumstance. They are great. They are very good wrestlers. I'm not sold on them being Tag Team Champions. But I do think that they will win this. To be honest with you, I think the Kings of the Black Throne, they deserve a tag team title run. Mm-hmm. Malachi Black deserves to be a world champion. Maybe they could lead the AEW comeback. I don't know.
So here's how I see this happening. I see Malachi Black taking the pin.
Really?
Yes. And now you remember when Malachi Black fought Adam Cole, he just kind of gave up. And everybody was like, what is going on? Well, I think Malachi takes the pin. The Kings of the Black Throne are just sitting there after the match, just contemplating, like, what's going on? Why can't we win these big matches? Buddy Matthews comes out to console them, and then that's where we get Julia Hart to show up. She'll make an appearance at the pay-per-view, and the Queen of the Black Throne comes in, and now the family is reunited. She's the piece that they were missing, and this could lead to something big with the Kings of the Black Throne or House of Black. But outside of the Mariah May Championship Parade, which I think that is going to be where Toni Storm returns, there's only one women's match on the card, Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander, and I don't see Julia Hart showing up there. That's more of a spot for Britt Baker or someone else to interfere. Now, Julia Hart's promos have cut off Jamie Hayter's promos here recently. So, like, that's probably her first feud. But, like, to re-debut her back to the crowd, it would only make sense in this moment where Malachi Black's questioning his role in AEW, and now you reintroduce the Queen that brings harmony back to House of Black.
Yeah, I mean, that would be an interesting way to kind of bring her back. I don't know if that's truly going to be the way to bring her back, just because of the fact that she's got this thing going on with Jamie Hayter. So I think maybe that would lead to that first, and then maybe her doing something. But yours doesn't seem like a bad way of her bringing her back either. I would honestly say that maybe it would be more so of Bowen's taking the pin because of Max Caster and leading to their split up, because that's coming. You can kind of see the wheels spinning on that.
Right.
But so the Outrunners they're great. First of all, my wife hates them. I don't know why. They're great.
Oh, but it's exactly what FTR would have been had FTR fought in the 70s. Like
exactly.
It's
they're
like
great.
Like I get really big flashbacks of like the what was it? Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage? What was their tag team? The Mega Powers.
Mega Powers.
Yeah, like that's what they remind me of, is the Mega Powers.
Wish.com version of it, maybe.
Right. The PG version of the Mega Powers. I don't like that this is a 4-way match overall.
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a team that now. What's hilarious is the way that they determined this 4-way tag team match with the qualifiers is the same way that they're going to determine that women's tournament at Wrestle Dynasty. They're going to have qualifiers, and then the winners of each qualifying match meets in a 4-way for the winner of that match at Wrestle Dynasty. So, Tony Khan is going to put in like, hey, I created this for you. Let my guy win, or let my girl win that match.
But it is. I think it's more so of an NJPW thing. So
right,
most of NJPW's stars are going to go over. But yeah, Gato, whoever's leading NJPW, is going to be like, all right, we'll let you have one. This might be your one here.
All right, next match: Jay White versus Hangman Adam Page. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of this feud. I don't see where it's going. It's just like, oh, Hangman's pissed off at somebody, and so, and like Jay White's pissed off because I think Hangman injured him or whatever. I don't know. But we got this match. It's going to be a good match. They're two really good wrestlers. I'm not a big fan of the story behind this match, though, which I don't need to be a fan of the story. I like the in-ring work. If you can entertain me in the ring, I'm good. And I see that I think this is going to be a highly entertaining match. But Jay White won his last pay-per-view match. It was his first pay-per-view match in quite a while. I don't think he wins this one. Give me Hangman Page.
Yeah, they need to finish up this feud. I think that if White wins it, then that means that we're probably going to get another, the penultimate match at maybe World's End, probably to end the feud. That'd be nice. I picked Heyman to win last time. They did not. So, let me pick him again, and hopefully he does actually get the win here. So we'll go with Heyman as well.
And I like Jay White. Jay White's a good wrestler, but I just, again, where this story goes, and I agree with Wavy D, like, he has the potential of being AEW's savior. Sorry, the end of those words are cut off. But I don't, where the feud is going, like, maybe the feud is Heyman just keeps losing all these matches that he just stops beating the shit out of people. I don't know. But I just don't get where the story is leading. And so I just want them to end it, and Hangman winning ends it quicker. So,
yeah, true.
The next one, there's a lot. So while this card was solidified a lot quicker than a lot of other pay-per-views, a lot of the matches, I'm not like super fond of the stories leading up to them. Like, there's only 2 or 3 stories that I'm like really interested in AEW right now. And but again, like I said, if they can entertain me in the ring during the match, then I'm good. This match right here, MJF versus Roderick Strong, is one of the storylines that I totally hate. MJF should not be fighting Roderick Strong and Adam Cole. They should not have brought Adam Cole back to finish last year's storyline. It doesn't fit the timing. MJF had been back for quite a while. What the fuck are we doing with Undisputed Kingdom? Where's Wardlow? And like, what? I don't like this. I don't like Max making them both fight 3 matches. I don't like Takeshita using MJF's ring. I just didn't like the whole build up to any of this. But with that being said, I feel like Adam Cole's turning on somebody, aka Roderick Strong, and we might get MJF and Adam Cole tag teaming again. I could see it going that way, but I could also see it where Adam Cole beats up MJF again, and then now they reboot the Undisputed Kingdom. I don't know. Either way, no one wins by winning this match. Like, it's just a very convoluted storyline that should have ended last year. I guess give me MJF to win, just because I think he suffers more if he loses to Roderick Strong. But yeah, give me MJF.
I think this is just Tony Khan trying to just finish up the storyline to end the year, right the wrong of the whole Cole being injured, and just trying to speed up this process to get the storyline done and over with. So that way you're leading into 2025. We get something different for MJF. We get something different for either the Undisputed Kingdom or Adam Cole. So I think that he's just trying to squeeze the rest of the juice out of this. And yeah,
ain't much left.
No, there's not. But I think that he wanted to hold off. I think he leans too much into the World's End theme of ending a lot of shit in the year and the pay-per-view and the storyline and something. So I think we're going to get MJF and Cole next month at World's End to finish the storyline, I hope. So in this case, MJF is going to beat Strong. I don't know if Cole turns any or anything like that. If anything, he may cost Roddy the match by doing something to try to beat up MJF, and he ducks out of the way and Adam hits Roderick accidentally and leaves MJF winning, something like that. So yeah, MJF is going to win. I do like Wavy D's comment though about what you said about Wardlow, and he said now Wardlow should be the AEW savior. I can get behind that.
He has the look, my biggest fear with Wardlow is can he promo as his promo. We haven't heard him talk a whole lot, so I can't say for certainty that he'd be able to hold his own on the mic. You go against heels like Swerve and MJF. Can he hold his own in the ring? But yeah, please don't let this last much longer. There's not much juice left that you can squeeze out of the storyline. The one thing I hate about this is they're bringing the conglomeration into this, like Kyle O'Reilly. The conglomeration had like 72 segments on Dynamite last night.
It sure did.
And like Ishii stalked Jericho, literally ran around the entire building with them, and then Orange Cassidy, they go through that promo, they go behind the curtain, and then Orange Cassidy fights, and Ishii shows up at the end to celebrate with them. I'm like, does this dude like not break a sweat at all? Like, I don't. There's just too much. Like, Tony Khan has so many storylines right now. So it used to be he didn't have any storylines, and it was just all a bunch of like randomly booked matches. Now he has way too many storylines that they're starting to convolute in with each other. And yeah, anyways,
But if you look into it, it's just O'Reilly, not so much the entire conglomeration that's involved with Roddy and Adam Cole. So which could lead me to think that maybe the way that I interpret it, and I could be very wrong, and sometimes I am, so I'm okay with it being that. The way it kind of looked to me is Kyle O'Reilly giving Adam a stern warning, and Adam's not seeing it, and either it's going to lead to Roddy and the Undisputed Kingdom turning on Adam, and Kyle O'Reilly goes with them to kick Adam out, a la to try to make him feel the same thing that MJF felt when Adam Cole turned on him. Something to that effect. It was weird, but I think O'Reilly's given Cole kind of a stern warning of like, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to have you read between the lines here. You're not doing it. I'm trying to give you opportunities, and it's just going to hit you right in the face, and it's going to lead to some sort of turn, I think. But We'll see how that goes.
Anyways, as we continue forward, I can't wait for this match. Swerve Strickland versus Bobby Lashley, and please God let Leo Rush join the Hurt Syndicate so we can hear the almighty Bobby Lashley.
No.
Bring us back to 2016 when that was a thing in WWE. I can't wait for this match. Now, going back to my rant just for a moment, because Bobby Lashley's on the screen. The IWC, the casual audience, was pissed off today because Bobby Lashley was made his in-ring debut against a man named Cheeseburger. Now, let me tell you, motherfucker, something. Cheeseburger is a Ring of Honor original. He is a legend. This isn't some Joe Schmo off the street. Cheeseburger was running indies before some of you motherfuckers were in fucking diapers. You got to give Cheeseburger his goddamn respect. This wasn't some Joe Schmo that he was fighting. And so, also, Cheeseburger sold the fuck out of when Bobby Lashley spiked him on the fucking mat. So, congratulations, Cheeseburger.
Yeah, he did.
What difference does it make that he fought Cheeseburger in his first match? They fucking fed Braun Strowman to, like, nobody for the last 6 months now. So, and Braun Breaker, and all of these people, there's multiple people with the same name in WWE. Braun Breaker was fighting like 6 nobodies in matches when he was debuted in the main roster. Bobby Lashley is going to be fine. It doesn't matter that his first match in AEW was against a guy named Cheeseburger, an absolute legend named Cheeseburger. I love his name. I'm gonna keep saying it. Cheeseburger. But in regards to this match, man, I don't know. I could see it going both ways.
This is probably the hardest one to pick because you think about it. Swerve is on a 2 pay-per-view losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
He did beat Shelton. Are we going to give Bobby a loss already? Like, this is kind of booked a little bit into a corner because I'm not sure what the outcome is going to be and where it's going to go after that. Unless we get another debut or a return and somebody aligns himself with Swerve.
See, I think we get another person joining the Hurt Syndicate. Now, I don't know who it's going to be. This would be, if he wasn't stuck in Chris Jericho's fucking stable, this would be a great place for Brian Keith to show up because, anyways, fuck Chris Jericho. You ruined that opportunity. Anyways, so I see Bob, MVP, pulling off some business skills here, and there's going to be another member of the Hurt Syndicate. Now, I don't know if it's going to be somebody already on the roster. Like I said, is it Leo Rush? Is it Ricochet? Is it one of the multitudes of other wrestlers that he's tried to recruit? Is it I was going to say, is it Sean Dean and his teammate, but they joined Shane Taylor. Could it be Shane Taylor Promotions as part of that? Would be too big of a stable. I think Bobby Lashley wins this match. I'm gonna go Bobby Lashley. I don't think you have Bobby Lashley lose your pay-per-view debut. I think Swerve is the kind of wrestler that I think he's okay losing pay-per-view matches. He was okay losing the belt to Danielson. And so I think in the overall arch of the story, this is just the beginning of this story, I feel. And so I think it would be okay if Lashley wins this match. And so I'm going to go Bobby Lashley with a little bit of help of a new member of the Hurt Syndicate that I don't know who it's going to be, but we should find out on Saturday.
Man, I had penciled in for Swerve winning just because I'm like, man, he's on a 2 pay-per-view lose streak. He just came back. Why would you have him come back and then lose again? With him losing it all in and all out, coming back at Wrestle Dream, why would you have him lose after he just came back? Like,
right.
I'm gonna circle my gut. I'm gonna go with we've been having the same people. I'm gonna go with Swerve. Just have a feeling Swerve.
Now, see, the last time you changed your mind on a match that just for differential stake, you were wrong. Was that the Brody King match?
Hold on. Yes, it was. But this, I had already penciled in Swerve, so I'm going to stick with my gut. And by the way, yes, you did finally beat me last pay-per-view. I've been meaning to bring that up, so you gave me a great opportunity to bring up that transition. So, yes, just as a reminder, Junkyard finally got himself out of the Junkyard and beat me in the pay-per-view, single pay-per-view record by a score of 8-2 at Wrestle Dream, and I had 7-3. That brings our pay-per-view totals for you, sir, at 57-19. And I am at a modest, humble 65-8. So, you got 2 pay-per-views to go. You're only behind by 8. So,
yeah, it ain't gonna
you never know. You never know.
Swerve,
but I'm going to go with Swerve on this.
He has Swerve winning by DQ. I could see that happening. As well.
Listen, to keep his comment above that, if you want to share that onto the feed real quick.
I was going to mention that. Listen, Bobby Lashley is a Hall of Famer in multiple companies. You can't just throw him in the ring for a debut against the ROH. Yes, you fucking can when his fucking name is Cheeseburger.
Hey, I'm pretty sure that when Sting debuted in WWE, his debut match was on Raw in a tag team match against the J&J Security. So, I mean, let's just saying.
All right, so let me talk about Cheeseburger for a minute because y'all think he's just some nobody. This man has almost 40,000 followers on social media. Like, he's not just some Joe Schmo indie guy. He's been around the block several times. Like, he's
James.
You're underestimating the value of Cheeseburger. He's an indie king.
JYJ. 40,000 followers on Twitter. That's gonna be your backup for this.
That's more than a lot of indie wrestlers.
Let's move on.
I'm comparing him to indie wrestlers, not like WWE super conglomerate.
This conversation's over. Let's move on.
Look, y'all are sleeping on Cheeseburger. If he was given an opportunity,
you didn't put enough pace in the sauce. It's becoming runny. Let's move on.
I'm just saying he could out wrestle anybody in WWE. I'm just saying.
He said it. Don't come after me. I didn't do nothing. All him. Send those tweets. Send those hate to him.
Let's move on. This is a feud that I.
Oh no! Time out. Bring that comment up. Bring it up.
Oh Lord.
Bring it up.
We are not going to just breeze bait. Like Jamie Noble is an ROH World Champion and Cruiserweight Champ.
This is the same motherfucker who was in a storyline with a girl who got blinded by Tajiri Smith. Are we really going to go there? He lost. He was in a feud with his blind girlfriend. We're really going to go there. And then a guy who got fucked up by Jeff Hardy in a ladder match and hasn't recovered since. Yes, that same J&J security. You're welcome. All right, now continue.
Anyways, this Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. Why are we doing this early? I feel like it was way too early for Kyle Fletcher to turn on Ospreay.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was hoping they would say wait until Grand Slam for
wait till Australia. This should have been the main event of the Australia show.
I don't know about a main event, but at least go.
Right. Like, this should have been your advertising well spent on Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay to get people to buy tickets, though they stopped selling tickets to that show. I guess Tony Khan's cool with the amount of tickets sold because they're still promoting that fucking show, but
at the stadium. And he did say on the recent radio interview that they've tens of thousands of tickets. So
I checked several weeks ago, and half the fucking stadium was not sold.
He didn't say the entire thing was sold. He just said thousands. I don't know what that meant. 100,000, 1,000, 5,000. I don't know.
So, I mean, anyways, there's going to have to be a winner and loser in this match. And Ospreay's another one of those wrestlers where I feel like he's okay taking an L. Like, he's done it several times in the past. And I've been picking a lot of heels recently, and this is I'm just going with my gut here. I think AEW's in a position where the heels are going to win a lot more than the baby faces right now, leading to that eventual turn where the baby faces take over. But in this one, give me Kyle Fletcher.
Man. This is yet again another thing of like, why did we push this so quickly? Because it doesn't do a favor for anybody for losing, and I don't know where it's going to go after this. Like you said, I mean, I totally agree that this should save for Australia, unless the thought is we're building up Fletcher to eventually become a champion of what? I don't know. Continental champion, maybe. I don't. Why would he be the international champion when they're fighting against each other in the Don Callis family? But he has done that before with having two guys in the same group fight against each other. So it's just leading to a really weird next couple of weeks and months. I just don't know where it's going to go. But I am actually going to agree with you on that because I just think that as much as I love Will, I think they're just pushing Fletcher right now to make him, especially with Australia coming up in 3 months, that they're just going to try to push him as a very big star, beating these guys and creating a bigger name for himself to try to appeal more to the Australia crowd and build that up. Gives him a big win, probably the biggest win in his AEW tenure if he does beat Ospreay. I think this is probably one of the matches of the night, if not the match of the night. I think this will be a very good showing for Fletcher and Ospreay. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Mr. Fletcher as well.
So while we're on the topic of Australia, real quick, I don't want this to go much longer, but usually your big shows like your pay-per-views like Grand Slam Australia or All In London or whatnot, you get like a big return. And now my thought was Mark Davis was going to be that big return, but they rushed his return back. Also, Mark Davis is back. So, like, who's going to be the big Australian return? Like, it certainly can't be like Indy Hartwell. Now, she's from Australia. Her 90 days would be up by the time of this show, but like, she's not a big enough star to be like this big grand debut of a big international show. Like, I love Indy Hartwell. Don't get me wrong. And I think she does go to AEW, but like, she can't be your big debut. So who are, unless it's a return? Maybe this is where Kenny Omega returns. I feel like Omega's going to spend a while in Japan. Maybe he makes the trip over from Tokyo to Australia for his return. I don't know where that goes, but usually, like, this is why I feel like them giving us this match this early kind of sucks, because we're not going to get that big return that we're used to in some of these big shows.
I will say, to let you know, I'm on the official site right now where they are selling tickets for Grand Slam in Australia, and I can confirm that the map is back up and running, and you can buy tickets.
Well, we must have had a glitch or something. A couple of days ago, it was down.
I will say, though, I don't want to be I don't know. But as of right now, it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of tickets available. But I don't.
Did they lower the prices yet? Because last time I checked, nosebleeds were like $400.
U.S. or Australia?
No. I just saw 400 and clicked off the page.
Let's see. Like, most of the upper decks, the only thing I can find are handicap seats. So I'm not sure. I will continue to look at that as we continue on here.
I guess some rich Australian blokes bought all the tickets.
Or Tony Khan bought them. I mean, he has been,
True.
been known to do that. Apparently, if you ask some of these people, I don't see a whole bunch of tickets at all. I don't know where. I don't know what's available.
Interesting.
And it's interesting.
Next match on the card: TNT Championship match. Jack Perry versus Daniel Garcia. Now, this is a feud I can get behind. I love the last week and a half build. I don't know if you saw Collision last week. Did you watch Collision?
Yes.
All right. So the two vignettes, the one on Collision and the one last night on Dynamite where they like kidnapped Jack Perry. Bravo. That was great. I love that. They built this feud very well. Jack Perry saying, "Look, I used to fight for everything you're fighting for, Garcia, and look at where it led me. You're going to have to realize that unless you become like me, you're just not going to get what you want." And Garcia is basically saying that he's an entitled prick, and he's used to the entitled pricks standing in his way before getting what he wants. And Matt Menard had a mental breakdown with a baseball bat. That was quite entertaining. But this match, now you gave Ospreay and Fletcher possible match of the night, and it's there's three matches I think that are going to be really close for match of the night. That's Swerve and Lashley, Ospreay and Fletcher, and then this match, Perry and Garcia. These are two really good wrestlers. People hate on Jack Perry because he exposed CM Punk for the bitch that he is.
Amen to
that. Jack Perry can wrestle. He's gotten, I don't know what it was about him and his girl Anna Jay going over to Japan, but when they both got back, they both have been really good in the ring. And Daniel Garcia was already one of the best up and coming wrestlers in the ring. I'm going to go on a limb on this one. Daniel Garcia is winning this match. We're getting a new TNT champion. And
I don't like the fact that, I mean, listen, the best offense sometimes is the best defense, and to prevent you from catching up to me would be to pick the same people that you're picking. But I legitimately was thinking about this as well, thinking, man, he's had title opportunities after title opportunities and hasn't yet broken through. I just felt like it was never apparently the right time to do it. Now it might be the best time as ever for giving this man a push in a run with a title, especially after he is re-signed with the company. I am a big fan of Daniel Garcia, and I really hope that he does win on Saturday, and I am going to pick him as well. I think this is the perfect opportunity for him to become TNT champion, and I think this also will be in contention of match of the night, but I am very much so looking at Daniel Garcia hopefully winning the title on Saturday. It's going to be a good match. I have definitely enjoyed this feud. Jack Perry will do anything and everything to get a feud over, and his character has been
exceptional.
If you want to put a comeback of the year, it should be Jack Perry, for the fact of how, reinventing himself, the whole thing with the Punk stuff, going to Japan, reinventing himself, coming back and using a gimmick, and just becoming a true AEW pillar. But I definitely think, and he's done great with the TNT Championship, making it his own, but I just think this is Daniel's time to shine.
Absolutely. Speaking of awards, Wavy D, I know you're sitting in the chat. We were invited to the Slap and Meat Wrestling Podcast end of the year award ceremony, but I don't know when that's going to happen. So can you give me a date, like as soon as possible, so that we know when to show up and interact with y'all over there on Slap and Meat land?
Yeah, we would like to show up. We would like to participate. We would like our participation trophy. You have to invite us and give us a date and time. We will be there.
Absolutely. I kind of agree with this comment from Wavy D, though. If Daniel Garcia loses and he's officially buried, I don't know if you could say he's buried. I hate that word, but it looks bad to have him come back. And there's just opportunity after opportunity. I think the best time, like, he should have beaten MJF for the American title, I guess is what it was at that point. And he didn't. And it just, I don't know. They squandered that opportunity. Like, this has to be his opportunity to. And I think the reason they didn't give him the title then was because he hadn't re-signed yet. Now that he's re-signing back in AEW, like, I think he's going to get the belt. He's going to get a belt at some point in time.
I agree with that.
Now we go to the TBS Championship match. The only women's match on the show so far. Now, one can only guess that Tony Khan's going to put a women's match on the pre-show. But honestly, though, I don't know who it would be. They really haven't built a whole lot of women's storylines here recently. Like Anna Jay had a tiny story with Mariah, and that's kind of over with.
Are they doing the championship, the champagne celebration on the pre-show or on the main card?
I believe it's on the main card.
I believe it's on the main card. Yeah, I think so.
So I don't know, but as of now, TBS Championship match: Mercedes Moné, Chris Statlander competing for the belt. Camille is injured with the arm brace. That always ends up in some sort of shenanigan. You got to keep that in the back of your mind. Everyone seems to think that, like, Mercedes Moné has ruined Camille's career. Wait for that turn, buddy. It's gonna. I said this in our group chat offline. It's gonna be a legendary turn when Camille turns on Mercedes Moné. But I don't think that time is yet. Mercedes Moné keeps the belt.
Are we talking Hulk Hogan turning heel in 1996 legendary, or the 15th time Big Show turns heel face legendary? Just trying to get a gauge as to which way of legendary we're going to.
That is for yet to be seen.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes. Like, it's gonna, like, when I mean legendary, like, I mean, like, it's gonna be it's good. Like, my point when I said that was the internet fans and the casual fans are so freaking impatient with Mercedes Moné or Camille, but they force us to sit through 5.5 years of Roman Reigns and the Samoan dynasty. Like, I feel like I'm watching like the wrestling version of Friday Night Lights, like or Fast and the Furious. Like, it should be over by now, but it keeps going on. I turn on my TV every Monday and Friday, and there's some fucking big ass Samoans on my screen. Like, you want us to be patient for the 8-year soap opera, but you can't be patient for 4 months that Camille has to. Like, they did this same shit with Wardlow and MJF. They were doing it with Christian Cage and Luchasaurus before Luchasaurus got sick. Like, patience, my friend. It's going to take some time for this turn to happen. Like, Tony Khan's just not going to be like, all right, now's the perfect time. Like, he's going to let it brew a little bit. But anyways, Mercedes Moné wins this feud.
Yeah, I agree. I got Mercedes winning as well. This will be going into her 6th month as a title reign, and I'm sure we all expected that after she signed on with AEW that she would have a long title reign. So it's going to be interesting to see who becomes the person to finally dethrone her. It could be Camille. I think that might be leading to where it's going to go, is building up Camille to eventually, either Mercedes turning on her or Camille turning on her, and Camille maybe dethroning her to become the TBS champion. That's down the road. We'll see how that goes. But I don't see Mercedes losing this match at all. I totally agree with you on that with the patience thing. It's going to take time. All storylines take time. Not everything should be a hot shot or shotgun booking and doing it so quickly and just reacting too quickly. You just got to give some time to build.
The people that are complaining, though, are the fucking Vince Russo jacknuts that, like, love that Vince Russo just threw shit at the wall, and some of it stuck and some of it didn't, and David Arquette ended up as WWE champion or WCW champion or whatever the fuck champion he won.
You want to talk about the epitome of hot shot booking / shotgun booking? Vince Russo is the exact example of that.
Let's give it some time. And it's been some time going through this, but we've made it to the end, the main event of the evening for the AEW World Championship. Jon Moxley versus Orange Cassidy. And man, like, it's simple. Like, who should win, but at the same time, it's complicated because I can see both people winning this match. Perfect timing. My spidey senses are going off. Someone's shitting on Russo. Welcome to the show. You're an hour and a half late, bitch.
It's the truth.
Back to the main event. Jon Moxley, Orange Cassidy. I just don't where it's probable for Orange Cassidy to win the belt this early. And like I said, Orange Cassidy to be built, I think, to be the top babyface in the company. Now, again, there's dirt sheet rumors. What was the phrase that Conrad used to say, or says all the time? The rumors and innuendo is that Orange Cassidy, Tony Khan sees Orange Cassidy that he could have the same appeal, and please don't laugh, that John Cena had with WWE. They see him as that big of a babyface in the company. And and so But you can't give him the belt this early. You're going to have to make him earn it. You're going to have to make him work for it. And so if they're going to make Orange Cassidy work for it, I see the payoff coming several months down the line. Like, this is going to be a big show where they're going to make this happen. Like, I could see it at Revolution. I could see it at Double or Nothing. But I don't see it at Full Gear. So I am giving Jon Moxley the win at Full Gear on Saturday night. Now, I'm sure you're going to talk about the John Cena comparison, but I laughed when I saw that too. But yeah,
that's a comparison. Wow. I mean, I guess in a way he is. I don't know if Orange Cassidy has it in him to turn heel. I don't even know what a heel Orange Cassidy would look like. That would be that'd be interesting. Definitely got, especially with my preface going into my discussion earlier in the show, pretty much I tipped my hand as to who I'm going to be picking for this. I just don't see Orange Cassidy being that guy that's going to dethrone Moxley, and I'm going to go with Moxley as well. But yeah, I think that this will be a sneaky good match. Moxley will put over Orange Cassidy pretty well, but in the end, he's going to just do enough to get the job done and retain control of the world title, and Death Riders can retain control of AEW.
So my question now then, do we get another member of the Death Riders at this show? We have Pac, we have Wheeler, we have Claudio, we have Marina Shafir. We have Moxley. My feeling, though, is Moxley is saying that it's no longer AEW's company, that they took over the shit, that there's going to eventually be like some administrative figure. Does a administrative or manager like figure show up at Full Gear?
Boy, it would be one of the best times to do it. Big crowd, big arena, big media market, especially if you put in conjunction as to where the Newark, New Jersey media market is in conjunction with. Something that's pretty damn close to them. More specifically in the Northeast. That's a specific someone that has been rumored to be affiliated with this group and this company that used to be with a former wrestling company. Boy, the intricacies are there. The parallels are very, very, very much similar and are just lining up. The stars are aligning, shall we say. Don't think it happens. I don't think it happens. I think that, like I mentioned earlier, with how the whole maybe we take the world's end theme too seriously, that we do it at World's End because it's the world's end of AEW kind of thing. Yeah, I think that's when it happens. It's next month if it does happen, but I don't think it happens here. I don't even think we get a new member in general. I think it's just Moxley wins. They probably beat him down. Maybe the conglomeration comes out and we end the show in some capacity like that. But yeah, I don't think we get anything too shocking or surprising that happens at the show.
Okay. I could see it happening. I don't think it does.
We didn't have a lot of stuff happen at Wrestle Dreams. That's why I think they're going to pump the brakes on that for Full Gear and then maybe wait until World's End to do anything else.
Okay.
My prediction. We'll see.
And we shall see what happens at Full Gear this Saturday night. Now, if you need a reason to buy this pay-per-view, maybe Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley isn't your thing, but I promise you there will be a match on this card that is your thing. That's what's so great about AEW is they give you just a taste of everything. It's Thanksgiving is next week. And usually when you're at the Thanksgiving table, you don't take half of the casserole and eat it. Like, you just take enough to taste a little bit of it and get a taste of everything. And that's just what this pay-per-view is going to be. It's just a tiny taste of it. You want comedy wrestling? Watch the pre-show. You're going to get a comedy match with Big Boom AJ and QT Marshall. You want high-action flippy shit? Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay is going to be your shit. You want to see two big black men fight each other? Bobby Lashley and Swerve Strickland will tear each other apart. That is your thing. I don't mean that, by the way. I appreciate the both of them.
You didn't have to say it like that. Damn it, son.
Listen, my point is there's a
Someone's
little bit...
had too much sauce.
There's a little bit of everything on this card. And so my point is, buy the pay-per-view, get a taste of what you like, and then taste the rest of everything. And maybe, take your preconceived notions with AEW, throw them in the fucking trash, and watch this damn pay-per-view with an open mind. And maybe, just maybe, you will see that AEW isn't as bad as JD and all the other smart marks would like to say that it is.
Listen, I would say that you don't even need a selling point for this show. It does have just about everything you're looking for. I would go off of throw your preconceived notion of AEW and have an open mind while watching the show. Just go for the fact that an overwhelming majority, I would say 90 to 95% of AEW pay-per-views always either deliver or over-deliver from an overall show perspective. You're not going to get your one match and then 20 minutes for a commercial like you do on another three-letter company's show, pay-per-view, premier live event. And you're not going to get a fight and then have to wait an hour for the next fight like at some Netflix special that just happened last week. You're going to get action.
And it won't buffer for a million years.
Should not. Knock on wood. We haven't had that issue, but it shouldn't. In a way, AEW should probably rename them to TNA because they pretty much give you total nonstop action throughout the entire pay-per-view. It's match, end, promo, vignette, match, interview. It flows great. And that's one thing I do love about AEW pay-per-views is that they flow really well, but they just deliver. So that would be my selling point is their past shows have beyond of a shadow of a doubt, have proven that they can put on some of the best pay-per-views of any company, in any sports entertainment company. So that would be my selling point is you're going to get your dollar worth, every dollar worth of the show.
Amen. Well, look, we've kept y'all longer than we usually do, but that's all right. We appreciate y'all for staying the course with us here tonight. We're taking next week off for the holiday. We'll be back in December, fresh and awakened with more Beyond the Yard content. Got a new outro for y'all tonight. Like we had a new intro. We also got a new outro. Can't wait to show this for you. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thank y'all. We will see you in a couple weeks here at the Beyond the Junkyard podcast.
Stay saucy.
Girl with an ass like Anna J. Anna J. Anna J.